You know, in the world of real estate, there is a huge debate going on right now, and it's all about data. The big question everyone seems to be asking is, should buyers get to see everything? But what if? What if we're asking the wrong question entirely? Let's dig into that. And wow, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of the matter. We are so focused on making information visible that we've kind of forgotten to ask if people can actually understand it. That's a subtle but massive difference, and honestly, it changes everything.
All right, so here's the plan. First, we'll dive into the current debate on transparency. Then, we'll explore that gap between just seeing data and truly understanding it. After that, we'll get into the difference between transparency and clarity, which is key. Then, we'll see how this redefines the agent's role. And finally, we'll tie it all back to what really matters, making a confident decision.
Okay, let's start with what everyone's talking about in the industry right now. There's this huge push to make more and more real estate data public, all based on the idea that, hey, more information is always a good thing, right?
And really, the debate centers on these key metrics. Should a buyer be able to see exactly how long a house has been for sale? Should they see every single price drop along the way? On the surface, it seems like a pretty simple question of access.
And the arguments for it are really strong. I mean, it's just common sense. Buyers deserve all the facts, sellers shouldn't be able to hide things, and a market where everyone sees everything should, in theory, just work better for all of us. It's really hard to argue with that. But this is where things start to get a little tricky. And that brings us to the real problem, what I like to call the interpretation gap. This is that crucial point where having more data can actually lead to more doubt and more confusion, not less. So let's just take this one simple data point. You see a house you absolutely love, but you notice it's been on the market for 90 days. Be honest, what's the first story that pops into your head? Yeah, for most people, it's probably not a very positive one. And this is the disconnect we're talking about. On the left, you see the buyer's gut reaction. Ugh, something must be wrong with it, or it's way overpriced, or the seller must be desperate. It's a negative story. But the reality, on the right, could be completely different. Maybe it was priced just ahead of the market, and now it's perfectly valued. Maybe it launched during a really slow month. Or it could just be a unique property that needs the right buyer, not the first buyer. The number is the same, but the stories are worlds apart. So here's the core paradox. Seeing the number 90 doesn't actually tell you anything for sure. Without any context, that raw data makes you create a story in your head, and it could be totally wrong, leaving you more uncertain, not more empowered. This brings us to a super important distinction between two words we tend to use as if they're the same, transparency and clarity. And let me tell you, understanding the difference is where the real advantage is. Okay, so first up, transparency. This is simply the visibility of the data. It answers the what question. What is the price? What are the days on market? It's just the raw information itself. But clarity, clarity is the next level. It's about understanding what that data actually means in context. It answers the much more important question, so what? So what if it's been on the market for 90 days? What is that signal for this specific house in this specific market right now?
So let's put them side by side so you can really see it. Transparency gives you access to the numbers. That's the what. But clarity turns those numbers into meaningful signals. That's the so what. It's like the difference between staring at a dashboard of 100 blinking lights and actually knowing which ones matter.
It really just boils down to this. Just because you can see something doesn't mean you understand it. Showing someone more and more data points without giving them a way to interpret them, well, that just creates more noise.
So, what does all this mean for the modern real estate agent? Well, it completely reframes their value. Their role isn't what it used to be. It's evolving, big time, from just a gatekeeper of information into a crucial sense maker. See, it used to be that an agent's big value was having access to the listings you couldn't see, but that's just not the case anymore. Today, the real value is in helping a client cut through the noise of all the information they can see and helping them think clearly about what it all means. And you can kind of see how this value builds like a stack. Access to the data, that's just the foundation. That's the price of entry these days. The next level up is providing context about the market. But the real skill, the top of the stack, is interpretation, helping you understand what those signals mean for you. And all this is designed to get to the ultimate goal, confidence. And that leaves us to our final and maybe most important point. Because at the end of the day, all this data, all this analysis, it's only in service of one thing, making a good, confident decision.
I mean, look, anyone can hop online and browse listings. That's just participating in the market. The real challenge and the real goal is to navigate that market and make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life feeling certain and empowered, not reactive and full of doubt.
And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? Confidence isn't born from just staring at a spreadsheet full of numbers. It comes from having a trusted guide who can help you interpret that data and turn it into a clear path forward.
So, I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you're faced with a flood of information, whether you're buying a house or doing anything else, it's worth stopping to ask yourself, is all this data actually making me feel more confident? Or is it just creating more confusion? The answer might just surprise you.